Hello, this is Chapter 2, Lesson 3. Chapter 2, Lesson 3, we're talking about the stimulus arousal theory, play as creative exploration. And again, reference your slides as I'm talking, so make sure you get all of that and you're following along. So, stimulus arousal, you seek you seek stimuli for excitement, risk, surprise, and pleasure. And this is often connected with the idea of fun, expressed amusement, joking, laughter, etc., or light. Just know that stimuli seeking can be positive and or negative. And how do we know that things are negative? And if it doesn't improve the quality of life consistently every time, it is negative. And you'll see that there are some type, or people just automatically assume that play is something that's pleasurable, but oftentimes it's not. Play can be frustrating, play can be boring, play can be unpleasant, and play can even be physically painful. Okay, unpleasant, physically painful. But for the most part, this theory says you're sensation seeking. You're seeking stimuli for excitement and risk and surprise and fun and all of that good stuff. The second one we want to look at, the second theory that goes with that is competence-effectance theory. And what this is this looking at matching skills to task or mastering the environment. What's great, and it's usually activity-based, but you can take an example. If you ever heard of Barry Sears and his zone diet, okay, the 30-30-40 or 40-30-30 or whatever it is, the idea of the zone, tapping into the zone, being one with your environment, mastering your environment. I'll ask for any of you sports players, any of you that have played a competitive sport, if there's been a time when you have just been on the top of your game, absolutely the peak of your game, and you do it, it's almost effortless. Okay, that's what we would consider you being in the zone. That means you have actually mastered for that period of time, whether it be 20 seconds or an hour. You've mastered the sport. You've mastered the outdoor environment. You've mastered the experience. And that feeling of just effortlessly not making any mistakes and effortlessly just doing all the excellent parts of that sport or activity would be the second part of this theory. That's why you want to play. That's why you desire to participate in these recreational activities, is to master it, is to win. And mainly, you hear a lot of people say, why do you race, or why do you compete? I compete against myself. Many people say that. That's exactly what you're talking about here. And then you have this other theory that's with it, is this flow principle. It's when you are totally immersed in the activity, completely 100% immersed and mastering it, almost effortlessly riding your mountain bike over a difficult trail at the fastest speed, and everything is working. The mind is quiet, the body is performing, and everything is happening smooth, fast, consistently. That's when you're in the flow. That's when you're in the zone. And so many people seek out to play or to have a recreational experience based on this theory. So there's two. You seek the stimuli, you seek pleasure, you seek surprise, you seek risk, you seek this excitement, you want to have fun, and then you also seek to have mastery over your activities, your recreational activities, and to win, and to be smooth, and to be effort, and to not have the discommunication between your mind and your baseball swing, and just messing up all the time. That's not what you want. You want that mastery experience. Okay, that pretty much takes care of play for the most part. We'll look at it historically, but those are your predominant theories. Understanding that play as a social necessity, play as creative exploration, play as an element in culture, and play as self-expression. Important to know for your test. And as we move on here, we're still in chapter 2, and we're moving on to understanding what leisure is. And there's a couple different views of leisure, but to remember for the test, and the most important part, is leisure is unobligated free time. Unobligated free time. That is what leisure is. Free time is different than unobligated free time. Please know that if you are obligated in any way, meaning you're expecting an email on your BlackBerry when you're enjoying free time, you are not truly experiencing what the theorists would call leisure time. Okay, so remember that for leisure, and we're going to look at a couple aspects of it. Number one, leisure as a symbol of social class. For many, many, many years, historically, you see that the working class did not have much leisure time because all they did was work. And if you can think about in the past who had leisure, it was royalty. Anybody that had royalty, that was in the government, that was a political leader, they had money because they had other people's money, and they had plenty of time. So they would have lots of parties and festivals and just an enormous amount of leisure time. And when someone knew that you were able to take time out in the middle of the day to do nothing, okay, or to attend an event or something like that, instantly people knew you were in the upper class. It's a little more blended today because there are some people that take leisure to the extreme and don't have a job and don't work at all. And it's debatable whether or not they're experiencing leisure or what exactly they're doing in the terms of homelessness. But for the most part, you can still make an indication or an assessment on someone based on their free time by where they are in the social class in this country. If they're in the upper middle class, they're in the lower upper class, whatever it is, you should be able to make an assessment by how much free time that they have. Okay, so we've talked about that. We're moving on here. Leisure is unobligated time. We've talked about that a little bit. Time free from work or work-related responsibilities, super important. Time excludes time devoted to essential life-maintaining activities, like something that you're doing with a spouse or a family member. Okay, doesn't mean you can't have leisure time with them, but if you're mending the relationship or working on the relationship, that's obligation. And the last bullet point there is probably the most important. That says it's unclear if Americans have really lost unobligated free time. And I would venture to say that all free time has an obligation at some point. And it's tough to know what the effects of unobligated free time really is when we can't effectively study it, because there's just no way in this technological age to remove that. And and obligations can spread across the entire gambit or entire spectrum of obligations. Someone might be obligated just by thinking about all the things they have to do when they get back from their free time experience. So even if we removed everything from them and put them in the middle of the wilderness, just the fact that they were thinking about re-entry or what they were going to do when they got back would put an obligation on them, because it's taking away from the experience they're currently having. So does true free time exist? Unfortunately, I'm a bit of a pessimist on that. I do not think so. But I like the concept and the idea, and I'm hoping that it could exist, or that it has potential to be there. Third is we're looking at leisure as activity. You can participate in an activity and still be having leisure. I mean, if your idea of leisure is watching paint dry, then great. That's an activity. You're watching the paint dry. Or maybe you're going to play a sport or do something else, and that's fine. It's like leisure is closely related to recreation and activity. Leisure consists of a number of occupations in which the individual may indulge. of his own free will, either to rest, to amuse himself, to add to his knowledge, or to improve his skills disinterestedly, and to increase his voluntary participation in the life of the community after discharging his professional, family, and social duties. Okay, so what he's saying is that I choose to participate in this activity purely for leisure reasons, which are again intrinsic, but they do have external parts as well. Many people participate in leisure because their friends are doing it or something like that. It's different than play, where play is completely self-motivated. Leisure is not. Oops. Okay, I gotta go back here. Alright, next thing we have is leisure marked by the state of freedom. And this is very nice. The idea of this, or leisure as a lifestyle, is something that someone who's in recreation wants to develop that mindset, or to see how leisure can be more streamlined or more influenced into one's life. It doesn't have to be so compartmentalized, like where you see leisure in, for 15 minutes I'm going to have leisure here and then I'm going to work the rest of the day. Leisure can be part of your life. It can be part of your holistic lifestyle, because leisure is freedom. And when we look at if we look at the freedom mindset associated with leisure, we can actually be having leisure on a regular basis. And then what that will do to us socially and personally, the effects are pretty positive. But I'll be back to talk about it in a minute.